This channel serves as my own journal and accountability space or podcast. So, a little bit about me. I'm a trader based in the Philippines. I trade mainly Philippine and US equities. Aside from that, I also have some other investments outside of trading, businesses, and just a lot of ways to try and make money in this world. I've I've been in the market for a long while, for more than 5 years now, but I only took it seriously for the past 3 years. But after reflecting and after looking back at what I've done this past 5 years and this past 3 years seriously, one aspect I've wanted to improve on is the accountability part of analyzing stocks. I find myself lacking in how much I analyze. And I've really thought to myself that I really should do it more often. So I thought doing this might help me build this habit. This new personal journal of mine. I think this is less boring. And hopefully as I learn, as I improve, and as I develop my skills, those watching can take away new knowledge of how to look at the charts, of how to look at the market, of how to analyze the market. And I say this because YouTube is also the place where I too have learned a chunk of what I know. It is the place where I learned as well. And every, before everything else, just a disclaimer though. I do not see myself as an expert. I am not licensed in any way. This is not financial advice. This is not a recommendation to buy or sell any stock. Do not make trades based on what you see here. I am in no way liable for your actions and the trades that you make. Always remember, trade at your own risk. This is again just my own personal journal that maybe others can learn from. This is my reflections, my own thoughts. Okay? Always remember that trading involves risk and that you can really lose a lot in trading. Always remember this. A lot of people think the stock market is a get rich quick scheme. It's a way to multiply your money tenfold. I'm here to tell you that's not true. It is hard. It takes time. It takes time in the market, but also it takes proper risk management, proper money management. The stock market is a hard way to earn money, but I've found that it is also the most worthwhile. The market only asks us to put the time in, to put time, effort, and to really develop strategies and techniques, develop ways to manage risk, and combine this all together to create this one perfect system. That really is trading. I've veered off topic, but again, I really just want to emphasize that this is my own personal journal, and I hope you learn from it too. So for my journal, I'll really be focusing on looking at charts and stocks. Sometimes I'm going to talk about old and new lessons I learned, maybe some of the indicators and patterns that I use, and really just anything I find interesting to talk about. Anything that can help me refine my own trading. This is my trading journal. This is my trading vlog, whatever you may call it. But I really just want to share my thoughts and help others as well. So this first video is definitely gonna be quick. It's my own first video as well, and I have to tell you, I'm not really sure what I'm doing, but I'm doing my best. Everyone starts as a beginner, and I hope that as we improve trading, we also improve whatever it is we're doing here. So for this video, we're gonna be looking at the indexes, at how the indexes are doing, mainly the Philippine Stock Exchange Index and the S&P 500 of the US. So for the PSE, where are we? Okay. After the COVID crash, right, which is really evident here, the Philippines staged this massive recovery until 2021. And then it became a much harder market than what we had, right? This whole chunk here was an easy market environment, breakouts everywhere. Everyone was making money. And when we got here, suddenly it wasn't so easy anymore, right? This was hard money. And right now, we're in this bear market, that the 2022 bear market, which has just ended, right? Happy New Year. So where do we stand now on the Philippines? The way I see it, the Philippines has actually been showing some strength, right? I'm watching this support zone here. Why? Even though it broke, because after it broke, it recovered strongly afterwards. And that's always a good sign. It means that this was just a fake breakdown and that we're fighting higher. And the past 2 days, January 4 and 5, we have had really strong action from the PSEI and also its constituents. So what am I looking at here? Right. What I would want to see is a cross between this blue line, which is the 50-day, and this red line, which is the 200-day. That can indicate a change in sentiment, although that's not really a sure guarantee. As you can see here, we had the crossover here, but then if you bought at this point, you would have gotten stopped out here because of this strong decline. Okay, so what we're really seeing here is that the Philippines is at the point of making a decision. Are we gonna get rejected again? Potentially at this area of resistances, short-term resistances, sorry. Or can we power through that, right? Power through that, have this cross between the 50-day and the 200-day to show that the medium term trend is changing, potentially the long term trend. Are we gonna have this, and are we gonna retest this key resistance level, this huge resistance level, right? So that's really for the PSEI. And what's more important than the index is always the stocks underneath. Are the individual stocks performing well? I learned this from Mark Minervini, and I'm a big fan of Mark Minervini. I follow a lot of what he teaches, and I really focus actually on his teachings. So a lot of the setups I use have influence from him, some even directly from him, from the videos that he taught for free on YouTube, right? And he always says that the most important thing is you look at how individual stocks are performing. He's never going to make a decision based on how the index is doing, what the index is doing. If the index is going up, but leading stocks are going down, or if there are no leading stocks, it's not the time to be putting money in the market. Because it means that the market is not healthy. A healthy market is defined by tons of leading stocks, tons of stocks breaking their highs, breaking 52-week highs, breaking resistances. That is how you define a good market, a market you want to be invested in. Okay, so that's what I'm going to be doing for the next possible videos, looking at individual stocks, looking at how the indexes are compared to them. But I'm optimistic, and I'm going to be much more optimistic if the Philippines can show strength and really break this resistance here and try to fight this resistance here, right? We've had a bear market already, right? This huge decline really should have shaken out a lot of people, hopefully. And a New Year rally, a optimistic rally is never out of the cards as well, right? So I'm going to also to be separating the Philippine and US content. I want to be able to talk in Tagalog, right? So Filipinos can understand it more, especially because I'm talking about the Philippine Stock Exchange. But I definitely want to talk about US stocks also because I trade both Philippines and the US stocks. Right. So now let's move to the US, which I really prefer looking at the SPX because it just has 500 of the best stocks. So it compared to the 300 the 30 of the Dow Jones. Okay. So what I've been watching for the SPX is really this trend line, right? I was already watching the US around here. I was thinking that it would have broken already here because it's a third touch of this resistance trend line, right? There's a rule of three that says that trend lines are usually broken at the third try. And then we tested it at the fourth time and we got rejected again. That was really a bad sign. So in terms of the how the market index is, I would say that the Philippines is actually in a better place than the US, right? With the Philippines, you had the 50-day and the 200-day almost having a crossover. But in the US, it's been so difficult after the 50-day crossed below the 200-day here on April 29. So there's really for me a harder market when it comes to the US. But we can never discount the US because the US is the largest economy and has the biggest stock market, and it can always outperform. Even in the COVID pandemic, it outperformed the Philippines so much, right? While the Philippines is still below 2020 highs, the US powered higher. And right now, really, it's just a normal pullback, right? It's been more than a year since this started, and we're definitely nearer to the end than to the beginning. And it's just a matter of time. And as I've said about the Philippines, what really matters is how leading stocks are performing. What really matters is how the setups are doing. are you making money in individual stocks? If you're not making money in them, that's still a hard market, even if the index says otherwise, right? So if in the Philippines we're seeing some hope, in the US we still need to see more leading stocks. That's my view, right? And as you can see, I really approach everything in a technical first point of view. While I do use fundamentals, it only supplements my trading, and I'm going to explain that more in future videos. But the core really is technical analysis. It's really charts, it's really analyzing charts and using moving averages and sometimes the MACD. But really, the most important thing should be price, volume, right? Those are the most important thing. You can trade with those, and then you supplement them with the indicators to help you make faster decisions. And also, they provide some information that are just hard to see just by looking at price action. Okay, when we look at the Nasdaq, right, you can see that it's greatly outperforming versus the SPX. If we plot the SPX here as a comparison, right, you can see that the SPX is definitely outperforming the Nasdaq. It's up 8%, right, from the COVID low. It's up 58% versus the Nasdaq's 47. And coming from this bear market, it's only down 18% compared to the Nasdaq's 34%. Right? Very clearly, the SPX is a leader. And why is that? Because the Nasdaq is the one that was fueled by these super low interest rates, the super accommodative Fed. Okay. And now it's just reaping the effects of having that. Right? You can't have a gigantic run always. There's always going to be a pullback. And this pullback is what's going to help us make the next generational returns. Right? Hopefully this year, if this is already finished, if this bear market is already finished. Right? So for the Nasdaq, well, we really want to see this previous support hold, right? And if it does hold, maybe you can have a test again of the 200-day EMA. So for this one, really just you just have to wait for the market to turn, and you just have to wait for setups to show up. Have a bottom-up approach. Let the stocks show you that the index is ready. It's going to be like that for all the indexes. It's going to be like that for all stocks. Okay? So, yeah, I'll think I'm going to end that there as this is the first video. Thank you for watching this very first video of this YouTube channel. I hope to make a lot more videos, a lot more reflection, a lot more journaling, a lot more accountability. I think this is the way to improve my trading. I've done so much in the past 3 years, and you always have to keep on changing, keep on improving your way of learning. Never, the only important thing is to never be stagnant, right? It's always important to keep learning. Okay, so to my fellow Filipinos, more Tagalog contents po, right? I want to speak more, talk more in Tagalog for the Philippine stocks. I'm going to be separating the Philippine and the US because I also want to help my fellow Filipinos. But I also want to show them that the Philippines is not the only market, and that the US market, which is the biggest market, has tremendous opportunity as well. And that wraps up this video. Thank you for joining me, and leave a like, I guess. Leave a subscribe, right? Subscribe, is that it? If you like the content, hopefully I see you in the next video. Bye bye.